This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can find options that fit your budget and potentially lower your bills. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
Still waiting in line? Again? That's time you'll never get back. Save time and money with Stamps.com. Over 4 million businesses have skipped the line with Stamps.com. Join them to save up to 90% off carrier rates from your computer or phone right now. Print postage for certified mail, registered mail, and packages in seconds. Then schedule a pickup right from your home or office. For a limited time, go to Stamps.com and use code PODCAST for a free welcome gift. Taxes and fees apply.
Welcome back to the Swamp School BizTalk, the podcast where we explore the intersection of environmental science and business. I'm your host, Mark Seelinger, and today's episode will be tackling the topic that's both critical and complex, navigating the regulatory landscape in the environmental sector. Regulations are a double-edged sword. They can be challenging to comply with, but they also create opportunities for businesses that know how to navigate them effectively. Today, we'll explore how you can turn these challenges into business opportunities. So let's dive in. Environmental regulations are in place to protect natural resources, but they can be overwhelming, especially for businesses that are new to the sector. The regulatory landscape is shaped by a mix of local, state, national, and even international laws, all of which can vary widely depending upon the region and the specific environmental issue at hand. Some of the key areas of regulation include air and water quality standards. Governments enforce strict standards to control pollution to ensure clean air and water. Businesses must comply with these standards to avoid penalties. Waste management. Regulations dictate how waste must be handled, from hazardous waste disposal to recycling requirements. Noncompliance can lead to significant fines and legal actions. Wetland and habitat protection. In many regions, wetlands, endangered species, habitats, and other sensitive areas are protected by law. Any development or activity in these areas often requires special permits and mitigation plans. And then environmental impact statements. Before any major project can proceed, an EIA or EIS may be required to assess potential environmental impacts. These assessments are critical as a part of the regulatory process. Understanding these regulations is the first step in navigating the landscape. But how do you go from simply complying with regulations to turning them into business opportunities? While compliance can seem as a burden, it also presents unique opportunities for those who approach it strategically. Here are some ways you can turn regulatory challenges into business opportunities. First and foremost, become an expert in regulatory compliance. Companies often struggle to keep up with the latest regulations. By becoming a go-to expert in compliance, you can offer consulting services that help businesses stay ahead of the curve. This could include conducting compliance audits, helping companies secure necessary permits, or developing strategies to minimize their environmental impact. Another place you can go is develop compliance solutions. Many businesses need tools and systems to manage their compliance efforts. If you have the expertise, you could develop software apps or services that help companies track their compliance, report to regulators, and avoid penalties. This could be anything from cloud-based compliance management systems to specialized service that handles environmental impact assessments. You could offer training and education. Yeah, sounds like a good idea. Anyway, another way to capitalize on regulatory demands is by offering training programs that educate businesses on compliance requirements. This could be in the form of workshops, webinars, or online courses. As regulations evolve, ongoing education becomes essential, creating a steady demand for these services. And if you're considering going into the environmental education business and want to teach about wetlands, you didn't hear it from me. So we don't need to create our own competition. Leveraging regulations for marketing. Compliance can be turned into a selling point. Businesses that go beyond mere compliance and adopt best practices in sustainability can market themselves as industry leaders. This can help attract clients, investors, and partners who are looking for environmentally responsible companies to work with. And then identify and mitigate risks. Non-compliance is a significant risk for many companies, By offering risk management services, you can help businesses identify potential compliance issues before they become problems. This proactive approach not only helps companies avoid fines, but also builds a reputation as responsible corporate citizens. And then, of course, you can expand into new markets. As regulations tighten in certain areas, new markets often emerge. For example, the rise of stricter emission standards has created a booming market for clean energy solutions. By staying on top of regulatory trends, you can position your business to enter these emerging markets early. Well, now that we've discussed how to turn regulatory challenges into opportunities, let's talk about some practical steps that you can take to navigate the complex regulatory landscape. First and foremost, stay informed. Regulations change frequently, so it's crucial to stay up to date. Subscribe to industry newsletters, attend regulatory workshops, and network with other professionals in the field. Build relationships with regulators. Establishing good relationships with regulatory agencies can be invaluable. In some cases, your stock in trade. These relationships can help you get clarity on ambiguous regulations, expedite the permitting process, and even influence future regulatory changes. Hire or consult with experts. If you're not already an expert in a particular regulatory area, consider hiring someone who is, or is working with a consultant. The cost of expert advice is often far less than the cost of non-compliance. Use technology to your advantage. Invest in tools and systems that help you track regulatory requirements, document your compliance efforts, and streamline reporting. Technology can make the process much more manageable. Plan for compliance early. Don't wait until the last minute to think about compliance. Integrate regulatory considerations into your project planning from the onset. This proactive approach can save time, reduce costs, and prevent costly delays. Hosting the regulatory landscape in an environmental sector is no small task, but it's also an area rich with opportunity. By understanding these regulations, positioning yourself as a compliance expert, and leveraging technology, you can turn what might seem like challenges into a powerful business advantage. Thanks again for joining me on this episode of Swamp School BizTalk. I hope you found our discussion on turning compliance challenges into business opportunities both insightful and actionable. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe and share it with others who might benefit. In our next episode, we'll be talking about the role of technology and innovation in driving success in the environmental sector. It's going to be a fascinating discussion, so be sure to tune in. Until next time, keep blending science and business for a better world. Have a great day.
Are you noticing your car insurance rate creep up even without tickets or claims? You're not alone. That's why there's Jerry, your proactive insurance assistant. Jerry handles the legwork by comparing quotes side by side from over 50 top insurers so you can confidently hit buy. No spam calls, no hidden fees. Jerry even tracks rates and alerts you when it's best to shop. Drivers who save with Jerry could save over $1,300 a year. Don't settle for higher rates. Download the Jerry app or visit jerry.ai/libsyn today. That's jerry.ai/libsyn.
When was the last time you felt in control of your business finances? Expenses tracked, invoices sent, taxes ready. That's where Found comes in. Found brings your banking, bookkeeping, invoicing, and taxes together in one simple app. Manage expenses, invoice clients, send payments, and prep for tax time right where you bank. Join the hundreds of thousands who have already streamlined their finances with Found. Open a Found account for free at found.com. That's FOUND.com. Found is a financial technology company, not a bank. Banking services provided by Lead Bank, member FDIC.